Thank you for joining me for 3 minutes of Bible. Please have a look at my other videos and consider passing them on to a friend. And you might like to subscribe, please. John chapter 13, verse 35. By this everyone know that you are my disciples if you love one another. Now, I love a challenge. I don't really feel alive if I don't have one. And challenges come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and they're often completed after a lot of effort and work. But not all challenges are like that, and not all challenges come to an end. They're not all meant to come to an end. Some challenges go on and on and on. And now I'm talking about this particular challenge as followers of Jesus to love one another. That's a challenge that goes on and on. Loving anyone is a challenge because to be true love, we have to make a personal sacrifice. True love is always a gift. It's not love if we're in it for what we can get ourselves. It's not love if we expect to receive something in return. But that's not to say that we won't. My experience is that loving others in general pays good returns, but that's not to be the motivation. The love that Christians have for each other is reciprocal love. We're to love each other as equals, equal children of God. The love flows both ways, or if you like, it goes around in a circle amongst the church. It looks like the picture of the early church in Acts, where the Christians are described as having everything in common. It says in Acts chapter 4, no one claims that any of their possessions was their own, but they shared everything they had. Now that's really hard to imagine in the culture that I live in, where individuality and individual possessions are so prized. Such radical behaviour, though, came from an inner attitude. Still, I'm in Acts chapter 4, and it says about that early church, all the believers were one in heart and mind. Now, our verse in John chapter 13 is an instruction from the Lord Jesus himself. We're to love one another. And the example that Jesus gave was that of himself, of the way in which he loved. Now, if you thought sharing your possessions was radical, imagine loving like Jesus. He had next to no possessions as far as we know, but we do know that he loved so much that he planned all along to give his own life for the sake of those he loved. John chapter 13 is leading up to the death of Jesus, and it's the chapter that includes Jesus washing the dusty feet of his disciples. It's a true example that shows that real love for one another can be messy and costly, and that true love comes from a right spirit. In the church, being one in heart and mind about the fundamentals, the fundamental truths that Jesus taught. And so today, let's endeavour to move in the direction that we're being called to grow in our love for one another. Maybe there is some practical act of love that you can initiate today, or maybe you just want to be on full alert, ready to love at the next opportunity. I want to be more loving, and I have a long way to go in the challenge to be more like Jesus. God bless.